We've got some more games on the way. We're going to bring it to you very, very soon. Picks and bans very soon. Neilmah will have another opportunity to go ahead and battle it out to see if they're going to be able to make it. Astral Authority will be their opponent.
And we're going to head into picks and bans for game number 14 of the day. Both teams tied at 1 and 3. This is do or die for either one of them. Whoever wins here will go into that three-way tie scenario with Noble and Cope is still the problem.
Thoth and Izanami will be banned out by Neilmah. Sylvanas and Thanatos will be taken off the table by Astral Authority. Neilmah, they'll start things off, and they'll grab that first pick, Ymir, likely to go to Skeeledon.
I'm not surprised, honestly, going for this Ymir pick. They've been known to run this big frost giant, you know. Wouldn't be surprised if Bracken gets locked in for Kiki as well.
Yeah, Kiki's done very, very well on that pick so far. Astral Authority are going to opt for Ratatoskr and Poseidon. Two strong selections right there. Omnipotent jungler that can be really anywhere he wants to be at any moment's time. And Poseidon, I think we've seen him in every single game bar 1 or 2.
Pretty much. Fight fire with fire is the side of Thor for the Sleep, trying to match the Ratatoskr pick here with more global pressure for Neilmah. Janus this time around for Venenu. The last time that he played, there was the Chang'e, I think, which struggled a little bit.
I like the Chang'e better than the Janus, honestly. Venenu, Unstable Vortex is a feel ability. You ask any of the pro mages, and they immediately tell you how easy it is to hit that Unstable Vortex. But if you jump in and you pick Janus, it's going to be very difficult for you. Venenu looks like he hasn't had a lot of hours on this Janus. Last season, he played professionally in the Hunter role.
Yes.
I don't know if he played mid earlier than that, totally, but assuming this is a new role for him, Janus seems to be a little bit fresh, so I got to see how this one works out for him.
All he has to do is follow up off the aggression from Skeeledon on the Thor, make the rotations with him, and if there's no ultimate for Skeeledon, then provide him another ultimate on the side of Through Space and Time. But look at this, Astral Authority locking in Artemis already here for FaymousHate.
So the Artemis is Artemis, very strong pick. Everybody's saying that. Talk me through why Art is back.
Artemis is back at this point in time because it's all about the 1v1s. A lot of neglect has been made in the duo lane, and Artemis will thrive if you leave her alone for a little bit. Once she gets level 12 to 13, 14, she'll max out her steroid, and then she's going to just be able to outbox almost anyone.
Serqet will be the other crit-based assassin on the side of Astral Authority. That'll leave Ratatoskr in the solo lane. Vamana and Anhur, Janus and Thor, Ymir, very straightforward picks and bans coming out for Neilmah as opposed to Astral Authority with the extra assassin. Should be very interesting as we get down to Olympus on the battleground of the gods here. Neilmah, Astral Authority tied 1 and 3 each.
Yes. It's going to be interesting to see as we head into the game right now how this duo lane is going to pan out, because FaymousHate is probably going to want to play aggressive, but doesn't really want to play aggressive quite yet against an Anhur for DayToRemeber. Yeah,
it's going to be a little bit rough. FaymousHate, though, here, you know, this is the battling lane. FaymousHate versus DayToRemeber, 1v1 in the Hunter lane. If you watch the Challenger Cup whatsoever, or any pretty much of the community tournaments, this is a matchup that you've seen time and time again. DayToRemeber and FaymousHate honestly probably come out 50-50 across the board. These are both very, very talented hunters that have both had their time in the sun. And as you said, these days the duo lane is kind of left neglected by themselves. I'm expecting to see a lot of action.
I'm expecting to see also a lot of action for the junglers in the solo lane specifically. fineokay with the Serqet is a great counter pick against Kiki's Vamana here. You're obviously going to negate a lot of that healing during the big baby form. And on top of this, Mangoh now neglecting his former Sun Wukong pick that he's been struggling with so greatly, electing to go for more of a global pressure solo laner here on the Ratatoskr, building into this Mark of the Vanguard, trying to survive in the early laning phase.
As long as something changed. Honestly, I've been just watching Mangoh and been extremely, thoroughly unimpressed. He has not had a strong day so far, and he just keeps picking that Sun Wukong. Aggro said at least 7 times today, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it is broke, fix it. Just change it.
Well, the way fineokay started, from what I'm seeing, he's already neglecting Mangoh. He let him solo the wave for a little bit while the speed buff was started and completed by fineokay, now going to his own back harpies. But as a result of that, it was actually Skeeledon and Kiki that had enough time and opportunity to steal away the blue buff from Mangoh. So it's going to be more difficult for Mangoh now to clear the wave and stay in the laning phase as long as he would like to.
And actually, we're going to see some trouble for the mid lane. Ooh, they have help, actually. Leftsyndrome is here, and all of a sudden, the 2-on-2 is a 3-on-2. And Kiki and Skeeledon don't want much to do with that. Venenu stuck there in the middle lane by himself. Oracle's heading over to Neilmah as the dual lane has the pressure. Artemis is going to show up and launch a volley, and it's not going to be enough.
Oh, stole one of them though, so not going to have the vision for Neilmah, and that also gives level 3 for FaymousHate.
And that's going to be a big deal as players come back into lane. Ymir is going to stick around just a little bit. NeiruMah definitely wants to be a part of this dual lane for now, at least early on. Anhur has fantastic clear, and Ymir is just going to amplify that. FaymousHate on the Artemis a little bit less so. So by staying in lane, NeiruMah and DayToRemeber just really get the pressure out of that Artemis.
It's also really interesting to see the fact that FaymousHate picks up this Artemis in the draft into a Ymir. That's going to be easily able to wall you off if you're ever out of position in the jungle. You don't have any escapes to get over that. And obviously a lot of teams have been neglecting the Phantom pick to try to get over those walls or the Odin cages, whatever. So the Artemis positioning here in the mid to late game has to be on point. I'm expecting NeiruMah to get off some really clutch opportunities, because think about this. Poseidon can't get over it. Geb can't get over it. Artemis can't. Ratatoskr has to ultimate. And if Serqet goes in offensively, then there's no way she's getting out either.
That's very true. Yeah, NeiruMah definitely has the tools here against Astral Authority. Kiki doing well in this lane so far. Mangoh having a little bit of trouble clearing the waves successfully. Kiki on the other hand. Ooh, nice little dash to get away from the bat.
It's a good bait though, because Kiki has the blue buff, whereas Mangoh doesn't. So having to use the dash there just to clear the wave and avoid the umbrella ring, it's gonna favor Kiki. Not too greatly, but you never know. Like maybe 2 laning phases later, in about a minute or so, that could come back to haunt Mangoh, that one dash, because then he wouldn't have a dash, let's say, to escape any sort of aggression from Kiki, and if Skeeledon makes that rotation.
And that's the story of the solo lane. It's all about these tiny little microaggressions and all the little things that come out. Well, that one dash, like you said, could come back to bite him later on in the contest, so always have to be aware. Oh boy, Skeeledon just walks up and takes the camp away from Sheyka.
Everything was on cooldown with the exception of the Kraken for Sheyka, so he didn't want to commit to that just for about 45 gold or something like that, so electing to play it super safe. Having to commit a big ultimate for that little gold would have allowed Skeeledon to maybe look for an easy kill opportunity, not having to worry about any damage in return.
And here comes a little bit of aggression coming out from Skeely and Kiki. This is much less about actually trying to find the kill and more about, 1, trying to exert dominance, and 2, more importantly, bring the team onto the right side of the map and allow that mid lane breathing room. Look at how far Ymir is pushed up with Venenu there in the mid lane. That's why we're seeing this presence on the right side.
It's all about the blue buff defending it, but this time around for Mangoh, and now catching Kiki with a Cataclysm to knock up the ultimate from fineokay is going to prevent all the healing, but everybody's just left fineokay left alone, and now Skeeledon is going to use his ultimate.
He's looking for a target. Is it going to be Mangoh or the other player? It's going to be Mangoh. There it is. Stun, 2 stuns. Mangoh's able to get to the sky. Not a big deal. fineokay shows up, gets the taunt, looking for the zigzag. It's good. And Kiki's going to fall down. The double kill. 1 for Mangoh and 1 for the jungler. And there's damage out of the mid lane onto NeiruMah. Not enough to kill just yet, but many players. Venenu drops a portal. That was just not as efficient as I would have liked to see.
The wall was efficient though, but it's going to be Leftsyndrome catching up to him. He needs to find the knockup, but a nice freeze. The Serqet poisons wasn't on point. The stun isn't even on point either. And Mangoh, he got 2 kills early on. He's barely able to survive that one. His teleport is not available quite yet. Kiki could stop this back.
fineokay actually gets half there, believe it or not. Oh,
that was cocky to be able to back right around that corner.
That's fineokay. That's he plays with a certain style, a certain flair. I gotta say, I like it, man.
Sheyka though in a little bit of trouble, but with Leftsyndrome right around the corner. He has the Geb shield to bail him out during the Berserker Barrage. Obviously not being able to knock him up during it, it's still going to be fine. That shield's going to provide him plenty of health to survive.
So going back to that Venenu portal, I think that Venenu portal along the side of that little that corridor right by the mid harpies, I don't think it was the most optimal portal. I would have liked to see one of the portals go underneath the tier 1 tower in the mid lane, but I have to second guess myself totally. Do you reckon that, do you think, I'm so southern now, do you think that we actually see a safe NeiruMah if that portal isn't there? Does he die right then and there instead of later under the tower?
I think that he would still die regardless of whether or not that portal was positioned. It was either Venenu surviving or NeiruMah,
Right.
and obviously you want to save your mid-mage over your Guardian support at this point. It didn't really matter, so I'm not too worried about that play. It's still a lot of room for improvement, obviously for Neilmah. They're down 0-3 currently. Only about 600 gold, though, not too much, only 6.5 minutes into the game.
Absolutely. I'm not fretting at all if I'm on Neilmah or a fan of that team. Astral Authority it's a tie game. They have 3 kills. Hooray. I mean, if you're able to get first blood and still stay tied, that's absolutely a win. KikiSoCheeky, on the other hand, gonna answer ulti with ulti. I never say ulti. I always say ult. You guys say ulti a lot, don't you?
I say ulti a lot, yeah. In
Yeah.
the mid lane, a little bit of poke onto Leftsyndrome, but I like the exchange of the solo lane ultimates for the Ratatoskr onto Kiki, because this is going to allow the rotation from fineokay to make its presence known. Despite Vamana not having the healing during the Serqet ultimate, he's still going to be immune to any form of CC, so you're not going to be able to push him back under danger. A little bit of exchange on the left-hand side as the rotations come out, though. Just going to apply a little bit of pressure to allow FaymousHate to continue to farm safely. We haven't talked much about this matchup here in the dual lane, but it's actually a 2-level disparity here. FaymousHate is struggling.
Yeah, DayToRemeber certainly able to handle the early game a little bit better with the Anhur, and don't forget, NeiruMah was in lane a little bit more than FaymousHate support was, and well, there's the result. The fact that 2 players is better than 1, and DayToRemeber and Skeeledon combined to take down FaymousHate.
It's always risky going for a hunter that doesn't have a natural escape, such as a Muzinkov or an Artemis, obviously having a lot of damage in the midst of late game, but against global pressure such as Janus, such as Thor, you're going to always be an easy target for them to go on you.
I mean, that is the one thing when you look historically at Smite and its various metas or popular picks or whatnot. If you go historically and you ask, why isn't Artemis acceptable in this meta? The answer is always wave clear or lack of an escape. And, you know, right now things are a little bit different because she provides so much pressure. Good save by NeiruMah. Venenu's going to follow suit as well. There's the ultimate. Mangoh's in trouble, but the Gem Shield saves and negates all of the damage out of the Ymir. Skeeledon trying to give chase. Leftsyndrome can't get through. Damage onto Sheyka. Couple more hits will deal with it. Venenu finally grabs the mid laner. And there's the beautiful wall that you were talking about. The snowman gets frozen, and Skeeledon makes him melt.
The rotation from fineokay is not enough to really deal with anyone or find a cleanup. Instead, it's going to be a 2-for-0. Leftsyndrome did everything in his power to save Sheyka. He had to use the Gem Shield on Mangoh to get him out of the Ymir ultimate. He had to use the meditate to keep everybody topped off onto Sheyka. He even used the Cataclysm to try to peel, but it just wasn't enough to survive against Venenu.
What is Mangoh doing right now, Tully? I'm honestly not even being snarky about it. He dove into 5 players by himself without any backup. So even if he set up a kill, there's nobody to provide damage, and then he ults. Not even defensively, he's not in trouble. He just goes to the sky. What was the thought process?
Sometimes you try to find cleanup kills, you see something in your head, and there might be 1 or 2 certain factors that you don't take into account for, and as a result, he was in a lot of danger, only being level 11 with teleport, not having a defensive relic. His only form of escape at that point is using his ultimate to get up into the sky, look around, and see where he should be continuing to farm, because even though he might have messed up by using that ultimate, he's not in a position of death, so he can still look for more farm.
Right now, I bet you Mangoh wishes he had the ultimate. I think he would have been able to isolate one of these players on the right side. Skeeledon right here. Not as healthy as it might seem. Very low mana. And right there, he's not going to have enough mana to really engage in a situation relevantly. He either has the stun or a piece of damage. He does not have both, if I'm not mistaken.
There's just been so much fighting everywhere for Skeeledon that he hasn't been able to really get a lot of farm in the jungle to take full advantage of the Bumba's Mask, giving you that health and mana return every single time, as well as there's a lot of rotations from Venenu able to solo farm as he has the Bumba's Mask as well.
Kraken's gonna hit NeiruMah pretty hard, and Skeeledon walls off his own teammate. It's 6v4 here, folks. Skeely playing for the other team real quick, and NeiruMah gets walled off by his own teammate and dies easily.
Well, to be fair, there was no saving NeiruMah on that position. The Kraken was used, Serqet ultimate was used, the Cataclysm was used from Leftsyndrome. Triple ultimates for a level 8 Ymir. I'm not too worried if I'm on the side of Neilmah.
Exactly. So knowing that they've used pretty much everything in their repertoire, like you said, those 3 ultimates down, Mangoh's got his, and FaymousHate has Tusky. Do you engage on the Gold Fury now?
You have to do something with those 3 ultimates within the next minute or so. Obviously, NeiruMah used his ultimate for a little bit of CC immunity, so they need to find a positional advantage on the left-hand side. Gold Fury is being looked at here by Neilmah.
Yeah, this is the play that I was expecting totally.
Or not. They're going to go back to mid and continue to farm. DayToRemeber has a 2-level advantage. He is outboxing FaymousHate, the ultimate for the CC immunity, but he's off the marks with the javelin hits. Doesn't matter though. FaymousHate cannot go back to the laning phase now. He does not have sustain, so it's going to force out fineokay to make this rotation underneath, but it doesn't really matter for DayToRemeber. He's always going to have the ultimate from both Skeeledon and Venenu to bail him out.
Absolutely. Well played by DayToRemeber. I guess that's why he's 2 levels up. We haven't really been able to see much of his play. fineokay's in trouble. Nice taunt to stop the Berserker Barrage out of Skeely. No spin to win with the madness going around. So fineokay able to capitalize off of that. Another reason, hold that. Neilmah here, big damage. And fineokay is basically toasted. DayToRemeber makes sure to confirm that. And Skeeledon's going to be fine even with fineokay's ultimate. Kraken comes through. Skeeledon has to find an exit, and he does. DayToRemeber's chasing the mage. Won't find the stun. But now, here comes the enemy hunter, FaymousHate, fresh off of the heal from base. Won't be able to join the fray, but a little bit too late. And Astral Authority still trailing by about 1,000.
fineokay not respecting the damage there. He got Thor stunned, but hold that thought. Mangoh thinking about diving into Kiki. Does not have ultimate to be able to really survive this. Just still trying to juke around the tower, even popping that sprint, getting knocked up, getting stunned as well. The knockup is good. Finds the dash, but doesn't find the in-hand.
Dropping the ball, Mangoh right there.
Great knockup from Kiki to prevent that in-hand specifically.
Yep.
He made a semicircle around the edge of the tower to be able to duck back in underneath. Enough time to survive that play.
Skeeledon taking to the sky, looking for the Ratatoskr, lands down completely in the wrong spot.
Sometimes some Thors will go up into the air expecting you to be a certain place, so you snap reaction left click, and unfortunately for him there, Mangoh went underneath right as that happened.
So Skeely not gonna be successful that time around, unfortunately. Kiki successful in his escape from Mangoh. Definitely a good look right there. DayToRemeber versus this Artemis certainly still has the lead, and one of the nice things about this Artemis, we were talking about what brings her back into the meta, is the fact that the Hunter build is so crit central right now. Everybody's looking at double Shuriken, both the Wind Demon and the Poison Star, both of which are critical strike items. And in an era where every hunter kind of must have crit, she has built-in crit, so it's just going to amplify that.
And the difference between Artemis's passive and Anhur's passive as well is the fact that Anhur's passive is more stable. Artemis gets 5% crit per stack up to 3 stacks. Anhur, it's a little bit different. It's just going to basically shred your protections by 15, which is going to stack up over, not stack up, but it's just going to be a longer lasting guaranteed effect, especially in the early game where crit doesn't really matter between levels 1 through 4, whereas that 15 penetration does.
Exactly. Anhur's just going to hit you harder, whereas FaymousHate might hit you even harder once in a while. This time around, though, FaymousHate doesn't even get a chance to hit anybody as Skeeledon throws the hammer right into his brain. Neilmah right in the middle, bullseye for the mid lane. Poseidon, Sheyka on the money, gets the last hit. Rotation out of the short lane for Kiki. He's going to be able to take up the jungler fineokay. DayToRemeber here, rotating for Mangoh, and Skeeledon in the sky, landing on the tier 1 tower. Not enough. Basics are good on DayToRemeber. Still, can't confirm the kill. Finds the ultimate, not good enough. Skeely shows up, and DayToRemeber puts it down.
3 for 1, and now Neilmah's finally going to be looking for this Gold Fury. 15 minutes into the game, it has not been touched previously. There is no ultimate online for Sheyka or Leftsyndrome, and with that stun, Sheyka's in a lot of trouble. Kiki finding the kill, and Neilmah finding the Gold Fury.
Gold Fury going the way of the blue team, as you said. 4,000 gold in the lead, or just shy of it, 3,700 to be specific. 8-5 as we're a quarter into this game. Well, a quarter of an hour. Smite isn't played in periods or quarters.
Sometimes you just got to smite on no matter what quarter you're in.
Yeah, you know what? We've recently changed the rules. Smite now is played in 15-minute quarters. We're gonna have a pause every quarter. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Every team, you got to take a little bit of a break, you know, grab some water. You know, wipe the sweat off your forehead as well while you're at it.
Hey, man. It gets hot under the lights when you're playing on stage. I mean, you've experienced it.
I used to play with my boxers on back home when I used to play professionally.
Thank you, Anatoly. Could you do that at LAN?
I mean, if I was allowed to, I would.
I'm going to call Dan and make sure that that is put in the rules, that all players must be properly dressed.
Well, that means that Barracuda would have to put on shoes then.
I think we'd make an exception for Barracuda.
Well, I mean, like,
shoes.
what if people have issues with certain smells?
What is it? Hold on. FaymousHate has an issue with DayToRemeber. He's going to come right on in. Half HP. That right there. That's what we were mentioning before. All of a sudden, FaymousHate gets a couple of crits, and it's a different scenario. DayToRemeber half HP, and it's because we're later on in the game.
It's also the red buff. FaymousHate doesn't have the beads available to get out of the stun, but does have the Tusky to stun out during the Berserker Barrage. Leftsyndrome making the rotation underneath as well. And this is a great gank from Skeeledon. That's twice already that he's ganked FaymousHate, not even from the sky, just from behind him.
Yep. And like you said, that's a great gank, especially when you're playing on a character that's so carefully balanced. In the sense, what I mean by that is, I'm not really referencing game balance. What I mean by that is the sense that Artemis is kind of safe with Tusky, and as soon as you chase out that ultimate, she has to sit on the tower. If you can take that ult, that's a win 9 times out of 9.
That was a nice portal from Venenu. It stopped fineokay as he was attempting to use his ultimate onto NeiruMah. A little bit of poke now onto Leftsyndrome in the mid lane. Skeeledon looking for a potential target to lock down. FaymousHate could be that target as Skeeledon is wrapping around behind.
Yeah, here comes the help. There's a wall to really help hide the fact that Skeely's showing up. Free's gonna be off the mark from NeiruMah. But the tower goes down. That's exactly what Neilmah came for. 500 gold in the pocket, and that'll extend Neilmah's lead to about 4,000.
And because of that gank from Skeeledon onto FaymousHate, without Tusky, that makes that siege down much easier. We see now DayToRemeber with the red buff of his own. He's finished Fatalis during that bag, and this is going to be a timing window for Neilmah to take full advantage of this Anhur that's so ahead of this Artemis currently. 3 levels ahead, level 18.
Ooh, Skeeledon misses a stun, but still, fineokay doesn't want anything to do with this fight. Over on the right-hand side, Kiki certainly at least having a war of words with Mangoh. Skeeledon going to teleport to the right side of the map, looking for the engagement. Won't be able to find it. There's the rotation from the mid lane. Big, what seemed like a big commitment, Toli. You had teleports, you had Janus ultimates. All for naught.
Mangoh gonna knock up KikiSoCheeky, taking a lot of poke. Whirlpool Kraken not hitting anybody on the mark. Tried to catch Kiki before the dash, but not quite there in time.
Even still, man, that looks like Sheyka's playing chess by mail right there. Just was completely 12 steps behind. He wanted to catch Kiki before the dash, but that was 2-3 full seconds after he was gone.
Just not in time, and not in time to stop this Portal Demon from being taken from Neilmah. They find a Gold Fury earlier on. They find the Portal Demon. They're now up about 4,500 gold, heading into the 22-minute mark, and this is getting a little troublesome for Astral Authority. This is do or die for both teams. If you guys have just been tuning in, these teams are tied at 1-3 apiece. Whoever wins this one is going to go into a 3-way tie with both Noble and Cope is still the problem.
FaymousHate here certainly will be the player to look at as this team tries to bring itself out from underneath the 4,000 gold lead, and that is certainly a lead you can fight into.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we get dismal is the word I'll use. When you're looking at a 10,000 gold lead, the comeback can happen, but it's just not probable, right?
Nice little juke there from Kiki, making sure that he waited a little bit on the dash, securing his own blue buff. But now, Mangoh, he's pretty tanky at this point with Gladiator Shield, with the Hide of Ymir Lion, also having that mark of the Vanguard. It makes it a little difficult for Kiki to find the poke that he's so used to.
Yeah, right now, Neilmah on the left side of the map is going to confirm a kill. FaymousHate gets smoked out by Venenu. Not quite content with just that. fineokay jumps away right into where DayToRemeber's hiding, and they're gonna body block the hell out of Leftsyndrome. He's going nowhere, still makes it out, and fineokay is able to answer back, but DayToRemeber with the long-range ultimate takes out the support.
And with the rotation from Mangoh, he finds a kill onto NeiruMah. It's gonna be another one onto DayToRemeber as the poison does spread. And now, the through space and time gonna keep Venenu out of trouble for now. It's up to Kiki, realistically, to be able to hold a few members here. Nice ultimate, preventing the poisons from fineokay, because that would have been even more damage. Mangoh and Sheyka would have followed up.
The follow on to Venenu, portaling both himself and the young assassin, looking for the knock-up. Could be the death for fineokay if the follow-up from Kiki is good, but it's just not there. There's a portal and a little bit of trouble, and Venenu able to take out fineokay. Kiki's not done. Sheyka's the target, knocked up and knocked down. Kiki gets credit for the kill, and Mangoh, the only one left, he's gonna sit there.
Neilmah just turned a 3-for-1 earlier on into a 2-for-0 during a little 2-on-3 encounter. So overall, that whole engagement on the left-hand side, where Astral Authority won, has become a 3-on-3 where they were about to go for Gold Fury, and now it's going to be Neilmah starting up the Gold Fury with fineokay and Sheyka not responding for another 15 seconds.
And what do you think that is? Is that individual, or is that individual prowess, or is that just the veteranship and the experience from these teams understanding, you know, where to make their play?
I think it was just Astral Authority being too ambitious here, and now Skeeledon's going to land back down onto the Gold Fury. Mangoh's in the sky. He wants to land onto Skeeledon, but a nice juke going back up north is going to prevent that knockup. Second Gold Fury of the game going to Neilmah, extending their goal lead to almost 7,500.
So Astral Authority right now, their support not online. I'm expecting to see a pause here very quickly. Neilmah able to pick up the Gold Fury right before that happened, actually. So about 7,000 gold in lead for Neilmah, 22.5 on the clock. And there's going to be the pause, 13-8 read the kills. So like we said, it is not very likely, but it's possible. So when we look at 10,000 gold leads, we say it's not really likely, but it's possible. Here at the 4, 5, 6, 7,000 gold lead, absolutely the teams can jump back in it. And I'm looking at the Artemis. This is the character that's going to come more into herself as the game goes on, and now that she's got a couple of crit items and some penetration, FaymousHate's who I'm looking at, really, totally.
Yeah, there was another game earlier on where Neilmah, they had a huge lead against some other team where they had a 7,000 goal lead. They had Fire Giant. They were pushing down the Tier 2 tower, and they actually threw it during that Tier 2 tower with a great hold later on. They even used that Frenzied Ritual to try to do it, and that was actually against... Cope is still the problem, yeah. That was the last game that they played where they blew a 7,000 gold lead around the 26-minute mark.
Right. So Neilmah, or rather Astral Authority, has blown the lead. How do they come back from the lead? Is it really up to FaymousHate, like I've been saying, or is it going to be something else?
It's going to have to position themselves to get FaymousHate that 5th and 6th item currently. And with his build right now going for a Fatalis, it seems that he's just trying to match DayToRemeber, but he's just too far behind gold-wise because of the fact that not only does he not have Fatalis complete, he's also down the Aussie. So more attack speed, more lifesteal on the side of DayToRemeber.
The Fatalis. So the Fatalis was once Mangoh's in trouble. Big damage out of the Hunter.
Nice backstab.
Crit. And Neilmah's going to get the freeze, going to get the ice carpet as well. Mangoh down to 10% HP. Will jump away and gets help from Geb. So my question here is that the Fatalis, last year, Skeeledon ults out of trouble. Onto trouble. And his trouble is going to blink away. So the Fatalis is... We added 10, there's 10 penetration on the item now. Last year, this was kind of a luxury item. I don't want to say a troll item, but it was a just for fun item on Hunters. Now it seems to be in everybody's build. Is 10 penetration really the change?
Especially with the cost effectiveness, that's what it's all about. Right-hand side, though, taking a lot of damage is FaymousHate and Leftsyndrome. The Aegis is used. Venenu is using his ultimate, trying to find the kill. Tower is about to go down here. Mangoh is left alone against Venenu, Skeeledon, and DayToRemeber. Gonna get stunned out the Kraken, gonna force out the Aegis, taking out Skeeledon in the process, though. Mangoh's not done yet. He's also gonna find DayToRemeber.
And fineokay is able to zigzag through Venenu. Very good play coming out of Astral Authority. 8,000 gold deficit for the red team, but Astral Authority are not ready to give up just yet. Looking for the jump. fineokay picks up another one. 6 in total. The jungle assassin on Serqet. This should be a play for the Fire Giant.
4 for 1 for Astral Authority. This could be another blown lead for Neilmah. They already threw their lead earlier on against Cope is still the problem earlier on in the day, and this is not looking good. If they throw this game as well, then that's going to blow their chances to get into the SPL Season 4, putting Astral Authority now in a good spot. But they're still behind quite a bit. 6,000 gold. They do secure the Portal Demon, but more importantly, they're cutting the experience deficit so greatly to allow everybody to catch up to the level 20 on DayToRemeber.
So the Astral Authority, okay, here we're going to see the Fire Giant push after the back and the heal up. That's one of the big things about that Fire Giant Portal Demon is the fact that it allows this. Everybody was relatively low. They go back to base and heal up. Skeeledon's going to land on the Fire Giant, and he's going to be too late. And FaymousHate takes down the jungler. Skeely tried, but it came up to nothing. He'll take another seat. And again, Totally, I will say this every single time we see that play. No problem with that. You gotta make that shot.
There was so much potential there to steal it and find the kill. It's all about the timing window. The cooldowns were used brilliantly by Astral Authority to be able to secure that one, even despite not having the Kraken. The Thor ultimate doesn't do that much damage compared to his other abilities. Right. You're still relying on that double tap more than anything else, especially with the Berserk Barrage.
Venenu tosses out an Unstable Vortex and quickly runs away, understanding that he is definitely a squishy target for the opposition. Rocket on that Janus, still has the Doom Orb available, so has an extra sign on his back and says, kick me. He certainly wants to avoid trouble at all costs. 3-1-6, he's been successful so far.
This is the point where Astral Authority can make a comeback. They have the Fire Giant, and they've cut that 7,000 gold deficit down to about 2,500 now. Look at that, all the way back down.
And this is going to be a free 500. Nobody's defending a tier 1. The tier 2, I think we're going to see a little bit of opposition. Astral Authority don't show any signs of stopping, though. They're ready to take this fight. Neilmah lead by 2,000 gold. Astral Authority fighting into the opponent's hands. Not a big deal. Blink forward. There's the initiation. Neilmah in trouble. He's going to be killed, and Skeeledon lands on the backside, but his encounter initiation, just not that big of a deal.
Through space, it's high!
Venenu answers back, taking out FaymousHate.
FaymousHate taking out by Venenu through space time. Skeeledon taken out by Sheyka. Sheyka having to run away now, taking a lot of poke. Fineokay is going to fall to DayToRemeber. Overall, it's been a 2 for 2 for the Fire Giant squad. Not able to take out this tier 2 tower, leaving Leftsyndrome hanging, leaving Sheyka hanging is Mangoh trying to get the tier 2 tower. Discombobulated right now is the word I'm looking for Astral Authority.
Yeah, and this is going to be, I mean, Sheyka's obviously dead here, just a matter of when. DayToRemeber and his teammate are up here, trying to decide if they want to take out the tier 2 tower.
You can't look for a whole burst composition just against a Ymir at this phase of the game. Sure, it's all pretty and fine in D&D during the levels 5 through 9 against a Ymir with your Poseidon Serqet combination of ultimates, but at this point, when you have to be meticulously using your abilities while you're sieging the tier 2 tower with Fire Giant, when everything is on the line, you cannot waste everything on a Ymir.
Especially a Ymir that is built, totally, I don't want to say flawlessly, as Mangoh is controlled and just absolutely annihilated, but Ymir has built completely understanding the composition of the enemy team. So Ymir has the items that he needs to have the sovereignty, right? He goes directly into large health and magical protection that's going to help him out when he gets low. And then on top of that, the Spirit's Robe as well. If you're looking to all in on a player, you're going to control him, and he's ready for it.
The ritual is popped. Frenzy Ritual, that's 3 dead rather. They're trying to go for a 4th. fineokay is dead as well. DayToRemeber securing that one. Kiki wants to chase this down. They use the Frenzy to be able to get this lead. That is going to be a deicide, and it's looking like Neilmah, they might force their way into this 3-way tiebreaker.
Yeah, it's going to be game. Phoenix is going to be the last target. Mangoh's up in 15 seconds. I don't think Mangoh can defend against the entirety of Neilmah. Everybody else is going to be sitting down for 20 plus. Yeah, look at the damage on the Titan. Ladies and gentlemen, Neilmah tied with 2 other teams.
We're going into a 3-way tiebreaker. Neilmah advanced. They're going to be joining with both Noble, and Cope is still the problem. All 3 of these teams are sitting at 2 and 3.
Fantastic performance coming out from both teams right there. Astral Authority almost made it back. They were trailing by about 7 to 10,000 gold and then bit back all the way up to about 2,000, but
So close.
targeted the wrong guy.
That's all it takes. All you have to do is just blow one team fight. We saw Neilmah, they had the lead slowly but surely, and then they started throwing as well. They gave up a fire giant. They sacrificed 2 people as well, trying to stop the fire giant, and then gave something back to Astral Authority, but they couldn't close it out quite yet.
Yeah, a little bit rough stuff coming out from the guys on Astral Authority. Neilmah will be up top. We had some fancy plays coming out there as well. Let's take a look at the highlight reel and see who was a number 1. Venenu had some fancy stuff.
Absolutely. This is a play where we saw how much Leftsyndrome tried to save Sheyka, but it didn't even matter. The Cataclysm, they finally found the kill with the Unstable Vortex. Venenu played so well on this Janus, and yet again, I can't even stress this hard enough. The Ymir pick was just on point for Neilmah.
Yeah.
Everybody, with the exception of the Serqet, couldn't get out of it. Obviously, Ratatoskr has ultimate, so it seemed that Astral Authority also kind of counterpicked themselves.
This is also a good opportunity to check out that Janus. I was very excited to see it because, as I said before, I wasn't sold on Venenu's Janus. I needed to see some more. I wasn't ready to say he was bad on it, but I needed to see some more tape. That's the tape. We saw it, and he's certainly in a different spot. As we said, with that win, we're going to see a 3-way tie. We'll take a look at the standings right quick. Gabe, already a part of the SPL. Welcome, Eonic. Rather, welcome back. Enemy as well. Welcome back, Pain Devion and friends. But that 3rd spot, it's all between Neilmah, Noble, and Cope.
Unfortunately for Astral Authority, they're going to have to go back into the Challenger Circuit to fight their way back in after the SPL Spring Split has been completed.
So with that, we have a couple of games to go to as we're headed towards the tiebreakers. We're going to be right back after a couple of minutes as we refuel and get ready to break those ties.